Okay. Everyone's here? Great. It's going to be fun. Those of you looking for Liam, he's having a rough go of it with his landlord's power, something like that. So it's me. What are you looking at me? Yes, I am. If you hear garbage bags and doors and my wife is doing stuff, don't worry about it. It's fine. She's taking out the trash, which is not the Eagles team. It's different. That's different trash that she's taking out right now. So, yeah, 0-2. The monitor is upstairs, I think. 0-2 for the first time since 2015. It's been a rough game, all facets. Carson forced a lot of throws. Doug's play calling was questionable up until they were down 18. Then they decided to get a little funky with it, and then it worked, and then they went away from it. Yeah, and then Jim Schwartz doesn't know how to coach a defense anymore. Special teams was really good. Offensive line was really good also. That's pretty much it as far as the positives go. It's a shame to see all this talent get wasted by monotonous play calling, by forced throws, and a defensive scheme that continuously puts these players in bad positions. We have linebackers who are made out of Teflon. So much so that whenever they even completely wrap up a player, they slip through their arms. It's overall it was disgusting, to say the least. It's going to be rough the next few weeks. Next week you can't. Bengals are that typical trap game. Their offensive line stinks, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose that game either. Then after that, you have Niners, Steelers, Ravens, Giants, Cowboys, bye, Giants, and then you have a whole lot of Cowboys, Packers, Saints, Cardinals, and then Washington. I said it on Twitter. I'll say it again. I think this is going to be a team that's lucky to win 5 games. So I will put some things to bed right now. Some of you are saying tank for Trevor Lawrence, draft Trey Lance. No. I think before a change in quarterback goes, I'm not calling for Doug's job. I'm not. I think he needs to give up play calling. I think he's a little too much in his own ego to give it up, and I think that's hurting the team. They try to be so innovative with Hurts lining up in the slot and lining in the backfield, and the drafting. The last two, this year's 3rd round pick didn't play, Davion Taylor, unless he played on special teams and I missed it. Hurts played finally, but as a wide receiver and a decoy. Last year's 2nd round pick was targeted too much, in my opinion. Wentz forced the throw that was an interception on J-Jaw. It wasn't J-Jaw's fault. It wasn't. It was Wentz's fault. But why are you targeting him with double coverage? It's just there's been a whole lot of nothing in the mid rounds of the drafts the last couple of years, and that's what's going on with this Eagles team. So the silver lining. Cowboys are getting butts whooped. Now that I say that, they might come back and win. Giants, it sucks. They lost Saquon Barkley to a torn ACL. So he's out for the rest of the year. That sucks for him. That kills the Giants also. Washington, I predict Washington will lose later. Our Cardinals are a very good team, really good team. But it's going to be, I think 6, 7 wins might win this division. And that sucks. That's like the NFC South a few years ago when the Saints won the division with 7 wins. So, you're definitely not making the wild card this year out of the NFC East. No, it's just division winner and that's it. Division winner, that's it. It's just, you let Tyler Higbee today. Tyler Higbee, decent tight end. I'll give it to him. Decent tight end. But 3 touchdowns to Tyler Higbee. As Jim Schwartz, I feel like he doesn't do his homework. Takeem, the Saints, they won the division 7-9 a few years ago. I remember they won the division. They were in the wild card, and people were like, "Well, they shouldn't even be here because they're 7-9." I'll look it up right now. They won the division 2010. They were 7-9. Tyler Higbee exposed them. Darrell Henderson, good player, but still, we're supposed to have this vaulted run defense. Darrell Henderson ran all over him. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods did their thing that we knew they would do, but we didn't think it would be to this extent. You have Slay, who hopefully is okay after he got hurt. Nico Roby-Coleman getting personal foul penalties, not knowing how to tackle, not knowing how to cover. Got Jalen Mills with his he did get an offensive pass interference on him, but we don't have any linebackers who can cover. Nate Gary is a liability. Big liability. And to further my point, we're adding the other half of flipping the birds right now. So please welcome in the other bald-headed guy.
Yes.
Brian Cameron.
Just partially bald. I got to shave my head. That's why I'm wearing a hat today.
But it's, so this team stinks.
I'm furious right now. I'm very, very angry right now. Is it me or is Jim Schwartz a little too arrogant for anybody's liking right now? You're playing Duke Riley and Nate Gary as your starting linebackers when you have talent like TJ Edwards. You have speed like Davion Taylor who can actually keep up with a running back. Avonte Maddox as well didn't look CB2-esque at all today. So it was kind of like they resembled last year's team. And a take that I did get chewed up on a little bit on Twitter, but a lot of people did agree with the Eagles had every right to draft Jalen Hurts at this point. Now, I'm not saying he's going to replace Wentz because you of all people know I'm a huge Wentz fan. Wentz is 100% like that's my QB. But right now, like you have options if Wentz is regressing. It's unfair to say, but
I think we see a regression this year because there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
You think there's too much distractions going on the outside, like around him, with all the voices now?
It's this. I think so. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of everything around Carson right now. You have a team that drafted Hurts in the second round, and then you bring in all of these coaches that are supposed to fix Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a guy who looks like even rookie Carson Wentz We did not see this. This is not rookie Carson Wentz.
This is a very weird Carson Wentz that we're seeing right now.
This is a guy who's doubting everything that he does. You could see it in his plays. He's very hesitant in too many throws, and he doesn't. He has either a deep passing game or a dump off. There is no in between. And that Dallas Goedert miss, it wasn't a miss. Dallas Goedert was covered. People,
JJ right side touched. Yeah. Supposedly supposed to be. It was never gonna be touchdown. Like he was completely covered.
I don't know. I don't know why he targeted J-Jaw. I know Liam hated me for that tweet, but like I wasn't blaming J-Jaw.
There was no window there.
I just don't get why you're targeting J-Jaw when he's double covered when he hasn't even earned that.
It's not like Alshon or anything of that sort.
Right, like a prime Alshon, even a healthy Alshon is not even prime. Gets that trust because he's shown that he can in and out get that ball.
And there was a lot of moments where he had Sanders open in the flat for first down. Even on that fourth was it 4th and 2 or 4th and 3 when it was it was either to J-Jaw or to Goddard. Sanders was open on the left side, like completely wide open on the left side.
Wentz doesn't go through his reads anymore. He's just 1, 2, or that's it, or sack, fumble, or he threw it away twice today. He threw it away.
He actually did.
So,
he threw it on the ground and everything.
2 times in a row. But, so as far as a protection standpoint today, it was much cleaner. I don't think he got sacked today.
No.
After getting sacked, now he only averages 4 sacks a game after 2 games instead of.
But he has 3 picks in 2 games.
Yeah, 3 picks in 2 games. I don't think he's ever started a season like that. It's
hard. It's hard to see. You're seeing a quarterback that everybody's been waiting for to be healthy, and you saw what he did last season down the stretch. So you're waiting for that quarterback to show up right now, but you're getting a quarterback that doesn't look comfortable not only in the pocket, but doesn't look comfortable with the playmakers around him. He didn't go really deep at all. They had a lot of outplays to Deshaun. They had that great Rager dump off in the backfield, which led to a first down. They had a creativity there, but then they strayed away from it. And I don't know. It's hard to really describe what's going on right now, but it's definitely it's cringeworthy at this point, especially going into a game where he's supposed to win against the Bengals next week.
That's the thing. Like this is next week's a typical trap game. We saw it last year with Miami. We've seen it time after time. These kind of games that they come in that they're supposed to win, and then they come out and they drop it. I fully expect them to bounce back next week because the Bengals, out of all the trap games that they've had over the years, the Bengals are the worst team that they're probably going to play.
They just lost to the Browns. If you lose to the Bengals, I'm walking out of my own house.
Like they drafted T. Higgins, and we know everybody hated T. Higgins, but Joe Burrow can probably light it up right now. So but even winning that game, you go into the 49ers. 1 and 2. I know the Niners.
They lost Thomas
and Garoppolo. Solomon Thomas.
Mostert.
I think Garoppolo has high ankle sprain. So that usually, depending on the grade, that's a multiple week injury. So if we're facing Nick Mullins 49ers, then I'll give him a chance. But if we're facing Jimmy G, who's not so much better than Nick Mullins actually, but he can keep them in the game. But that defense. If they get Richard Sherman back, if they got Solomon Thomas back, if they get healthy, D4 didn't play today either. Yeah. So if they get that, it's going to be rough.
It's going to be terrible.
And then you got the Steelers. Then you got the Ravens.
And the Steelers are looking good. They're not looking like the bum team that they looked like last year. They have Big Ben back.
Like I said today, this team again will be lucky to win 5 games because, and I hate saying that because obviously every year we're like Super Bowl, but. Now being 0-2, the Eagles have started. So this is their 7th time starting 0-2. The last time was 2015. They were 7-9. Before that was 2007. They went 8-8. Before that was 2003. They went 12-4. This is not a 2003 team.
No,
this is more. I feel like it looks like more like a 2015 team, even maybe a little worse.
This team looks like a mess. There's no organization whatsoever. Like looking at the box score right now, the longest pass today was 25 yards to Deshaun Jackson. The second longest, 22 yards from Miles Sanders. You have Jalen Rager. You have Hightower. Like, what's going on? Like last week, they were throwing deep passes like there was no tomorrow. This week, it was all about the middle of the field, but they were getting no progression. Zach Ertz this week again. He did five receptions, 42 yards, no touchdown. Goddard 4 receptions, 30 yards. It's not the offense that we were hyped up to see, that we were told we will see. And there's a lot of blame going around. Doug Peterson, all the voices, Carson Wentz, Howie Roseman.
The first person needs to go is Jim Schwartz.
Oh, he's trying to he's regressed.
I said it last year when we started this podcast that I hated Jim Schwartz. Mm-hmm. And throughout the year, as we saw the defense crumbling, I made it louder and louder and louder. The last 4 games, when we saw him actually adjust and play more press man and do things that the defense was more catered, that had players to cater to, then I was like, okay, a little better. When I see him pretty much get to pick and choose the kind of players that he's getting in for this year, then I'm like, okay, if Schwartz cannot perform with the players that he gets, that he wants this year, then he needs to go. You know, the narrative was for so long, watch when this team gets corners. Watch when this team gets corners. They have corners now. Sorry.
They were being a little off today. Like they weren't really like being aggressive, just letting Woods and Kupp eat in the middle.
Because the whole middle field is so open because we have linebackers that have no idea where they are.
Why do we have Gary and Riley starting? That's my biggest question in the world.
Gary has no idea where he is.
Well, why is he starting?
They traded for Duke Riley last year because he was such a great special teams person for the Falcons, and that's great. That's awesome. They put so much stock into special teams people. Like Brian Bremen, on this. Brian Bremen was a great special teams guy, and now he's a starting linebacker.
But my thing is, like, I get that like Alex Singleton on the bench. You have Davion Taylor. You have even T.J. Edwards sitting out plays because you have Gary and Riley. What the hell is going on?
Like T.J. Edwards needs to play more. T.J. Edwards is also a liability in coverage, but at least he can tackle.
Yes.
At least he can tackle. Like, we saw the best tackling from T.J. Edwards today.
Yes.
Nate Gary probably missed, I think, 3 or 4 tackles.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's the same shit every year. New coordinators, new players, new this, new that. But the common denominator is Jim Schwartz.
Yep.
So if he can't have a defense that performs with Darius Slay. Nico Roby-Coleman got his ass kicked today.
Yes.
Avonte Maddox also got his ass kicked today.
Avonte Maddox was kind of chirping at Woods for what? Like he was running all over you. What are you doing?
But like you have all these players, these new players, and I get Javon Hargrave's first game today. Mm-hmm. Where's Fletcher Cox? Malik Jackson was also kind of, but like you let go of Phillip Daniels last year when they had a defensive line that had 49 sacks, 100 QB hits, and the thing was, we're tired of pressure, we want sacks. This was another 1 sack game.
And it was by interceptions.
No interceptions, no turnover. The first turnover was by special teams on the year. Their first turnover all year, special teams. No fumbles created by the defensive line or linebackers. No interceptions by the secondary. It's just that these players keep being put in bad positions.
Mm-hmm.
And to our boy, hold on, let me go up. Our boy Duck, who are our choices. It's obviously too early to can a guy, I think.
Yeah.
But the first choice there would be to move over to Marquand Manuel, the DB's coach.
He has the intensity
He has the intensity. So does Jim Schwartz. He always looks like he's taking a dump. But it's just I think it's been the same story for so long now. And before I'm calling for Doug's job, I'm calling for the defensive coordinator.
My thing with Doug is I'm starting to feel like there's no accountability whatsoever. Like you feel the relationship with Goff and McVay. You feel the relationship back then with Brady and Belichick. You feel those relationships. You felt it with Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, but you don't feel it with Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson at all. it's like there's one big miscommunication between the two. I know Wentz wants to command the huddle. He wants to do his own thing because he sees different things. But at the same time, like they got to find something that where they can relate to because they just look completely off. The only good thing about the offense today, and I'm gonna smile about this, was Miles Sanders. That's the only good thing. Outside of him, there was absolutely nothing good to even brag about or even think about.
There was nothing like it. Like I was saying before, the only really bright spots of the game were the offensive line. They finally looked healthy outside Sam Allen leaving.
Did Sam Allen? I couldn't notice it, but did Sam Allen come back on or?
I don't think he did.
Okay.
And special teams. That's really it. Marcus Epps looked good up until the final few plays. The special teams look good. Kayvon Wallace, our boy.
He showed up.
Fumble recovery. But it's like right now these two units, like just like every other team, like units have to go hand in hand. The offense has to help the defense has to help the offense. They weren't helping each other out.
And it's terrible. Like this happened last season, and we all talked about this last season. But it's like this team doesn't learn. There's no comprehension of what they need to build on. There's nothing. There's no understanding on it. They come in, they do what they feel like they should do, and they leave. That's it. There's nothing more than that.
It's
as the Cowboys are closing in on possibly winning this game by a field goal.
That'll just put the cherry on top of today. If the Cowboys can come back after being down, I think 29-7 or something like that.
Terrible game for them.
And if they come out and win, that would be just the cherry on top. But
this is
Goff had all day.
How many quarters with no incompletions? About 3?
I was saying at halftime. I came on here for halftime, and I was saying Goff was able to snap the ball, put it down, tie his shoes, fix his pants, comb his hair, pick the ball back up, and complete the ball. That's how much time he had. There was no pressure.
I'm so tired of this, man. And there's got to be a switch made that actually ignites this team. I just don't know where that switch can even come from because you have almost everybody back. Unless when Alshon comes back, I don't know where for some odd reason things come full circle and he sparks the team, sparks a little thing in this team where they light up and start looking like the offense we expect them to look like. I don't see it, and you can tell that they miss his presence because they need a possession receiver. They need somebody that's on the outside that can grab the ball from midair, that can grab the ball from any angle and just get yards. They have too many deep threats. They don't have enough possession receivers, which equates to the problem that the Eagles have right now. They have no balance on offense.
It's just to go with that no balance. It's just they have the players to do that. It's just that
they're not doing it.
This damn coach, Doug, like he's not.
Do you think do you think he's actually reached the ceiling already? Do you think Doug mistakenly peaked in 2017?
I hate agreeing with something that's so egregious and so wrong, like that article that came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like today showed that this offense can only go as far as Doug is willing to go, and also Wentz. We'll get into Wentz in a minute, but Doug.
And Dallas has the game. They won it.
Dallas won. Holy crap.
They're 1-2. The Eagles are 0-2. I mean, they're 1-1. I'm sorry. My apologies. The Eagles are 0-2.
Oh, boy. Now we're going to have to hear from Cowboys fans all week.
Listen, the good thing about what I love about PSN is that we give it to everybody raw. Like, we're not going to be biased to the extreme where it's like, yes, next week we'll be good. No, like, this is a freaking issue right now. This is a problem. This is red alert. This is a fire alarm pulled in the middle of class. Like, this is wild.
There's a lot of people on Twitter right now, and I won't name names because don't want to be that petty right yet. But there are so many people on Twitter that are like we're all homers. We love our team, we love the Eagles, but at a certain point you need to worry about the team instead of saying, "Oh, these guys will be all right, my G." I kind of just.
I hate the coaches, guys. Don't get me started.
I kind of just. I kind of just called them out without calling them out, but at some point you have to realize that there's an issue, and it's again obviously it's Wentz, it's Doug, it's the defense, it's a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, what week is it going to be where we can say we don't have to say it's just week 2, it's just week 3, it's just week 4. Every week matters.
I'm going to ask a question that I know may trigger you because it's already triggered me, but did the Eagles make a mistake of not moving up in the draft and getting a receiver like CeeDee Lamb opposed to settling for a speed threat like Jalen Reagor?
There's no.
You don't think they made that?
Reagor will be great. He
would definitely be great.
He showed some Steve Smith toughness.
But my thing is, I feel like he's not getting the ball in the positions that he should be getting it.
But that's not on him. I mean, CeeDee Lamb probably would have been used in the same way that Reagor is being used right now. It's on the play calling. Like you have to. No matter who they picked, it could have been Justin Jefferson, Reagor, Lamb, Ayuk, whoever. Your first round pick needs to have plays designed for him to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have plays designed for Reagor to succeed. They really don't have plays designed for Carson to succeed right now. And then when they do have plays for Carson to succeed, Carson is forcing the ball into things that he shouldn't be forcing it into. So there's a big problem.
But they finally had a run game today. Can we smell about that?
Yeah, it's about time.
It actually opened the waters opened up for Miles Sanders and Boston Scott to just run right through and eat up.
And that's the thing. With Boston Scott, he only had 4 carries for 19 yards, but he averaged 4.8 yards a carry. So when he got the ball, he was productive with it.
Because they had to worry about Miles Sanders instead. Right. So Boston took advantage of that.
Miles Sanders had 20 carries.
95
for the Eagles, 95 yards and a touchdown. Welcome back, Miles Sanders.
And 36 receiving yards on 3 receptions.
So he had 131 all-purpose yards today. Yards from scrimmage. So that's what he can. That's what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he can do. So it's welcome back. But then they
fumble everything else.
Right. And then you give up 191 rushing yards. 191.
I mean, am I missing something here, or we have
the
a
rush
better
defense is gone?
What the hell is going on? It's like the Twilight Zone where you're seeing this defense just leave holes wide open. Meanwhile, on the other side, where the Rams, it's they're closing the right holes, but our running back is forced to find alternate holes. With the Rams, they're going right through.
It was
just going right through.
It was just a running lane. It was just like a NASCAR lane. It was just okay, go ahead.
Wide open.
But Aaron Donald, another Eagles game where he did nothing. So
Yeah, I'm happy about that. He didn't get a sack.
I was saying
real close, but he didn't get a sack.
I was saying all week, Aaron Donald's not gonna do anything. It's really he's gonna eat up. No. He had 1 tackle. So
the Cowboys were down. They were down 20-0 and came back to win 40-39. Bro, their offense is no better than ours. There really isn't.
And their defense is worse.
Yeah,
I mean, as evident by the 39 points they showed up today. And Calvin really gave me 29.9 points. I was also facing Matt Ryan. I was facing Matt Ryan though, so kind of canceled.
Yeah, there we go.
I needed Clyde Edwards-Helaire to really ball out today. But if I had to start with a fixing, it has to be Jim Schwartz.
It has to be defense first. But I think Doug is like this close to Jim Schwartz right now, because he's right there, man. It's freaking me out.
To answer Duck's question, I think.
I gotta know first. Hold on. Is it Duck or is it Duke?
It's Duck.
I've always wondered about this. I gotta know if it's Duck or Duke. Duke. I mean, Duck. Can you put that in the chat, please?
It's Duck.
You sure?
100%. 100%.
I'm waiting for it to show up in the chat.
Remember, YouTube is always delayed.
Okay.
We gotta wait. Yeah.
But go ahead. What were you saying about grade?
I think this concussion has nothing to do with what I think. His.
He ran the ball.
I think his groin injury from the preseason. See, look.
All right, Waddle. Okay. I want to make sure. I just want to be correct.
I think his groin injury is lingering longer than people wanted to make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way you take out that part of his game that he does so well.
It's
you take out his rollouts. You take out his rollouts. You take out his designed runs. You take out all of that this year. For what? Like he's not Tom Brady. He's not Joe Flacco. Like he's a guy who can move, and you've taken that away from him for whatever reason. So I just think that he's hurt, and people that they're just downplaying it right now.
The problem is that we'll never know the truth. The way the coaching staff is, Doug will never tell the truth. No. We'll find out somehow. We'll find out through Josina.
Hey, we will. So, especially if Devontae Freeman gets signed.
Oh Lord!
Because if Devontae Freeman gets signed, then you got Alshon and Devontae as her
sources.
But it's
not a good point of Eagles fan right now.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough trying to make the playoffs.
The good thing about it is though, like the Eagles could sneak in a wild card because they have that extra slot.
Yeah, but still, like okay.
They should win the division. No hands. No, I mean no question. Okay. My apologies.
No hands is kind of the Eagles.
Yeah, that's what they got going on right now.
But like even with that third playoff spot, we saw last year Cowboys went 8-8. They still would have missed the playoffs even with that 7th spot.
Yeah.
So you look at every division. The NFC West could very well have all 4 teams make the playoffs.
Can you believe that DeAndre Hopkins was almost an Eagle?
Everybody was almost an Eagle.
No, he was legit.
I know he was almost an Eagle, but every player that's out there is almost an Eagle.
He was a real one.
But like you have Seattle, who's great. You have the Rams, who are now 2-0. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals are beating the Washington team right now.
Of course they are.
So they're very good. I have them as my dark horse to win the division. And then you also have who am I missing? Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams. I'm missing one.
Seahawks, Rams, 49ers.
Niners. So you have the Niners who are also beat up, but still they're defending NFC champions. So you have 4 teams in that division who can all make the playoffs if they all make it 9-7 or more. Mm-hmm. But then you have to look at the NFC North. Got the Packers, who will probably win that division. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins had like a 2 rating today.
I don't think the Vikings are going to do much.
But you have the Lions who can surprise, and the Bears. NFC South, you got the Falcons suck. I hate the Falcons right now. You got the Saints, you got the Bucks. It's open.
It definitely is wide open.
And then but then you look at the NFC East. It's only one team coming out of there.
Most likely only one team.
Just one team.
I think if it goes down the wire, I think the Eagles definitely win down the stretch. But right now, the issue at hand is you can't be confident going into the playoffs with how disorganized your offense looks, with how untrusting your defense looks. Like, I'm very grateful to have Darius Slay. I think Darius Slay has been phenomenal for us, and it scared me when he went down. But my issue at hand is obviously the starting linebackers. You got to switch that up. Another issue at hand is Vontae Maddox. Like, you got beat by Robert Woods so many times, and it pissed me off because you remember that game where Jalen Mills kept on like showboating and they were down by so much, and Fletcher Cox kind of pushed the sideline.
That's kind of like another. That's like every game.
Felt like that. Like, it really pissed me off this Sunday. Like, why are you doing that? Like, he's eating up yards and you're not doing that.
That's all they do.
Yeah, but have you seen Darius Slay though? When Darius Slay gets something,
Darius Slay moves in silence.
Yeah, like he goes back to the huddle. He's like, okay, guys, let's get.
He's like the Gene Lasagna. Trying to get a reaction on my wife and it's not happening.
Hi, Bree.
Brian says hi. She's doing work and not paying attention to us. But so Carson Wentz's first quote that I see: "We're not panicking. We know what we have to clean up, and we will." How many times do we hear that?
It's not so much of a panic. It's just like, dude, this team is supposed to be 2-0 right now. There's no panic. It's real. It's realistic. This is reality right now. The Eagles do not look like a contender. They don't even look like a division winner right now. They look great on paper. They look great on Madden. But the truth of the matter is, they're not contenders at this moment. So it's not panicking. He's just calling for what it is.
Doug Peterson said he decided to decline the penalty and then the field goal that the Rams jumped off sides because he thought the Eagles had momentum at that time. But then the Rams scored 3 plays on 3 plays in the next drive. Field goals are great. When we get into the red zone like that, we have to come away with more scores, more touchdowns. No shit. Carson Wentz says the Eagles have to have the talent to be an elite offense. Okay. Wentz said, try to do too much, try to make a play. Obviously can't do that. Carson Wentz on the interception on the pass for J-Jaw. We're not panicking. The sky is not falling.
It's not falling. I mean, like I said, we're not panicking, but we're calling things for what they are. Right now, this team is not a contender.
This team stinks.
Yes. Absolutely. This team is just not a contender.
Now my wife is paying attention to me because when I say that, she starts laughing.
Just tell her that Zach Ertz got traded. See what happens.
Oh, hey, I heard rumor Zach Ertz is being traded. She's not very happy with it. But it's just this team is bad right now. And like again, I don't know how many times like I've had to like say this to people on Twitter and all that, you know. I get it's week 2, but it's very hard for teams to make the playoffs when they start 0-2.
It's a 16-game season. You have to be like, you know, on the fritz every game. Like this isn't baseball. This is a short season. Like there's only a limited amount of games where you get to show up and win.
It's not like next year when you have an extra game to catch up. You have 16 games this year. Next year you have 17 to try and catch up. But right now it's just 16, and now they have to go at least in the next 14 games 9-5. I don't know where they get 9 wins in the next 14 games.
It's gonna be rough. It's a tough schedule.
I think like there's only 4 games that I'm very confident that it's a win, and that's next week. And the Bengals. That's both Giants games, and that's the Browns. The Browns stink. I don't care who they have on offense. The Browns stink.
Yeah, but this is not the Eagles team of 2017.
I know, but still, that's 4 games. That's only 4 games that I'm confident of. And then someone was like, "It's only week 2." Okay, but look at the rest. He told me, "You must have not seen the schedule." Yeah, I did. So you have. Can we beat the 49ers right now, even if they're injured? Maybe.
If Garoppolo's not playing and Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa are not playing, we could definitely beat them.
Maybe. Can we beat a healthy Steelers team? No.
Yeah, those linebackers are.
T.J. Watt could be defensive player of the year. They have Minka Fitzpatrick also. They have Cam Hayward. Like who? Come on. Like the Steelers' offense, but that defense is elite.
Those linebackers are.
Then, are you beating Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, Hollywood Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Mark Andrews? Are you beating that team?
Did Dobbins do anything? Because I got him on my fantasy squad. I didn't start him, but I've been keeping an eye on him just in case.
Like we talk so much shit on the Eagles linebackers, and which Eagles linebacker is going to keep up with Lamar Jackson?
My question is, when the hell does Jim Schwartz draw the line for the Eagles linebackers? Like Duke Riley and Nate Gary are not the combination. They're not Jordan Hicks and Nigel Bradham. They're not the combination that we need, nor the combination that anybody wants. Take the chance on TJ Edwards and possibly Davion Taylor. Like just
like I get Taylor's.
You're already risking it. Might as well just jump off the cliff.
Yeah, like I get Taylor's a project, but you learn by doing in this league. And if he's not out there doing, what is he learning? I mean, you can see Mailata do that. Like Mailata took 3 years before he was able to get into an NFL game, and he never learned by doing. He only did in like preseason and training camp. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do that with Davion Taylor, who you spent a 3rd-round pick on, what's the point?
My thing is, though, he has the speed to keep up with these running backs. How many times did Henderson beat the linebackers today? And it's
Henderson, I think he had 12 carries for 80-something yards.
The receptions that he had.
It's no one's covering anybody.
It's a shame. Like this, bro. This is the NFL, right? We're not watching college football. This is pro league.
Yeah.
You get paid millions of dollars to do your job, right? That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? Show up, shut down, and let's win the damn ball game.
Wentz just said turnovers are killing us. I got to protect the football. I own that. He has five turnovers in 2 games.
That's wild.
Two fumbles and 3 interceptions.
2.5 turnovers per game. That's already wild. That's not even like Prescott's not even doing that. Prescott just threw for almost 500 yards to bring his team back.
Like we spent so much energy. Not we. I don't really give a shit about the argument. But we spent so much energy as a fan base throughout the offseason, throughout the last 4 years. Dak versus Wentz. Wentz is better. Dak sucks and all this stuff. But we will have zero argument if Wentz continues this. Like, no matter how many times
it's going to be the Hurts versus Prescott argument.
No matter how many times the Cowboys lose this year, it'll still be, well, at least we have the better quarterback as far as the Cowboys are concerned, because that's what it's looking like. Dak right now, today, threw for 450 to lead their team back. I don't like you said before. Both offenses are similar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe give it to the Cowboys by a hair, but quarterback, I will still take Wentz over Prescott right now.
Yeah,
but Elliott and Sanders is not too far off. As much, people are going to scoff at that, but Elliott is elite. Elliott is elite.
Was the problem today. So this wasn't Sanders at full health today. I mean, for like fully prepared.
Well, I mean, he said he could have played last week, but you know, we got to manage these players now. Yeah, that's the thing with Doug, like with his Deshaun Jackson thing. Excuse me, the Deshaun Jackson thing. You know, they're managing his health. How many games are like? It was week 1. Were they spooked after week 1 last year, where he like got hurt after 1 week? Like it's
he bragged all season about how he's never felt healthier. He said that the surgery felt like he put on new wheels on a Ferrari. That's a sign that the guy is fully healthy. That means he wants to ball out. You cannot keep a weapon like that limited. Did the Eagles take a deep pass at all today besides to Thega? There's nobody else like that.
No.
Like, how is that possible? How do you have 2 speedsters and you don't throw a deep pass? Like, why are we just like settling for what the defense is giving us? Pound it down the defense's throat and win the game.
Since Doug has been the coach of the Eagles, Miles Sanders' 20 attempts were only the 7th time a running back had 20 rushing attempts or more. Ryan Matthews has 2. Josh Adams had 2. Jordan Howard had 1 last year, and Miles Sanders had 1 against Dallas. And
the good thing to take away from this game is that Sanders is fully healthy now. He didn't re-aggravate the hamstring this week, which is phenomenal.
As far as we know.
As far as we know so far, we don't know. We never know the truth about injuries anymore.
He did say, sorry to interrupt you, he did say, Miles Sanders said it's a long season, said they can turn it around, also said his conditioning isn't the greatest since he missed all of training camp. So if this is a non-conditioned Miles Sanders,
imagine a conditioned,
then we're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there any screen passes today besides, I mean,
there was one to, or was it Ertz or Goddard? There was one there. That was really, there's no, the only time they got creative was when Hurts was out there. Only times. There's nothing. They've gotten too predictable.
Yes. And how are you so predictable?
It's like
voices in that damn offensive.
It's like they're playing Madden and they just choose one of the 4 plays that are on the screen the whole time.
I win all the time with those 4 plays, though. Okay.
That's because you're playing on rookie.
No. But look, man, that's all the time I have for today. You keep doing your thing. Thanks for having me on, bro. I'm gonna go spend time with my daughter because the Eagles took away apple picking from me because I stood home for the Eagles.
That's I'll be on for a couple more minutes.
Hey, man. But guys, make sure you guys tune into Flipping the Birds on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, because it's going to be.
Because Brian needs to leave to go Manscaped, manscaped.com.
You need to shave, though.
Flipping the Birds, FTB, 20% off, free shipping.
Bro, have a good night. I'll text you later. All right.
All right. See you on Tuesday.
Sir.
All right. Now you guys are stuck with me. All right. Let me, while we set up, I think Liam's coming on too. Maybe Liam's coming on. Shoot some questions on here, and I'll click on your name and I'll answer them for you. Let's see. That's right, Duck. The ball cream. The ball deodorant. Great. I'm telling you, anti-chafing, everything. Keeps it off the inner thighs. It's not sticky. It's awesome. They can't stop me. I think he needs to run when he sees an open lane. Scare the defense. They can't lock down cover if Carson's a threat to run whenever. That's true, but I think he's hurt. If Carson goes 0-4, 0-5, and he looks awful, like those 5 losses are on him, then maybe you see at him come in. But before that, no, it's not Hurts' time after week 2. No. Do you think we should consider starting Hurts for at least some season? No, like Hurts is not going to be a starter this year for as we hope. As I hope. When Hurts comes in, it's going to be on those plays that we saw today. And then if Wentz goes off the rails and he's completely awful, then I'd consider bringing him in. But that's it. Thank you. Once his accuracy has been bad, very bad. Update: Washington's getting their ass kicked 17-0, but they were also down 17-0 last week to the Eagles, so we'll see how that goes. I just can't believe the Cowboys won. I can't believe it. Play calling, again, it doesn't look flashy. Like we and I don't want to. I'm not one of those guys that are like, I miss Frank Reich, because I don't. We see what he's doing in the Colts. It's not that great, but the influence was there. Right now, and it was just like one influence. Right now, Doug has Scangarello, Press Taylor, Deuce Staley, Marty Morningwig, Jeff Stoutland. They also brought in someone else. I forget his name. So he has so many cooks in the kitchen. That's not a recipe for success. And I don't mean to put cooks in the kitchen and recipe in the same thing. And my wife just shakes her head. I did not realize Wentz had another interception today. I was putting my daughter to nap while that happened, I guess. It's great. So 4 interceptions, 2 games. It's great. Tackles leaders: Avonte Maddox had 8. Gary had 7, probably missed 5. Jalen Mills had 6. Edwards had 6. Darius Slay had 5. We'll see how he's if he's hurt. Let's see. I just think Doug needs to give up play calling. He does. It's just I think he's on his head. And I hate to say this, I don't think Doug and Carson trust each other. This is not the offense that we've seen the last 2 weeks isn't an offense that shows that the head coach trusts his quarterback and the quarterback trusts his head coach. All right, 9 minutes. I will sign off. I'll give you guys an hour, and that's it. For those of you who are not following me and Brian, make sure you are following Flippin' Birds Pod on Twitter, listening to our podcast. On Tuesday, we're having a member of the Bengals media. We are. His name is John Sheeran from if you've seen Eagles Wire on USA Today, they have the wire of every team. He's from Cincy Wire. He's the editor for Cincy Wire. So we're having him on Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed the last couple weeks. Last week we had Joe McAtee from the Rams from Beyond the Horns. The week before that we had Zachary Neal from the Washington Wire, but he wasn't on our podcast. He was on the pregame show before the game. So we're gonna have the Bengals guy this week, and then I'll announce the Niners guy later on in the week. I don't either. No, it's just feel like this is something. Even with COVID, even with all these things that they couldn't do, or in the season, in the off season, this is something that they still could have ironed out beforehand. Like, have your Zoom calls, have your socially distant meetings, have all that going during the off season to figure out, okay, what kind of plays are you comfortable running? What kind of plays do you think we should add? Things like that. Even with no preseason. I just think they botched the whole thing. Like, this Eagles team was supposed to be the cream of the crop in the division because they're the only team that has a established head coach. Not established, Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera, but they were the only team to have a continuity. New coach in Washington, new coach in New York, new coach in Dallas. But right now they're in the basement with the Giants and possibly the Redskins. Well, no, the Redskins and Cowboys will be tied after today. But it's rough. Jason Kelsey said he's on to Cincinnati. I try not to look at the big picture. It's frustrating to be 0-2. We made it very, very difficult for the defense, their own defense, the Eagles defense. They started at the jump. That started at the jump with the turnover. So it's obvious that yes, Washington is in front of Dallas with the division win, but still, there's both 1-1. It's obvious that everybody knows what's going on, but who's going to be the one to fix it? I don't. As it pains me to say, I don't think the Eagles have that guy right now to take control and be like, listen, this is what we need to do. I don't think they have it. A 5-minute countdown until I join my beautiful wife for the rest of the night. Oh. Let's see. Let me look through the comments. Let me ask you guys in the last 5 minutes. If there's one move you think that the Eagles need to make right now, what is it? Get a linebacker so the middle isn't so exposed. I'm fine with that. I have one guy in mind, and he plays in Arizona. It's Hassan Reddick. He only played 30 snaps last week. He had 3 tackles. He's from Camden. He went to Temple. Bring him over. Restrict Doug's. I agree. I think they need to hand it over to Scangarello. Scangarello, towards the end of last season, he really helped Drew Lock flourish. And Drew Lock, great prospect and everything, but Drew Lock wasn't supposed to be anything last year. Rick Scangarello really helped him flourish. And then Lock and Wentz aren't too far off skill-wise. I think they need to trust more in their new hires. It could be that maybe Peterson didn't want these hires. Maybe Lurie and Howie forced these hires on him. I just say that because we look at the press conference where Doug said we're still evaluating the staff. Groh and Walsh still have their jobs. And the next day, 2 days later, Groh and Walsh are gone. So I think there's a disconnect right now between front office and coaching. And maybe Doug is just resisting the new hires. Maybe. Yes. Also, our other sponsor, Tavour, Tavour. Make sure you download them app. It's craft beer. If you like craft beer, unless you're a Yingling guy or Bud Light guy or craft beer guy. My wife right now is drinking Sam Adams Jack-O, Jack-O, the pumpkin beer by Sam Adams. Here, come here. I'll show it to everybody. So this is my wife's beer right now. It's Sam Adams Jack-O. She has her hands on her hips like she's on camera right now, which I wish she would. No, she says no. Tavour, Tavour. Download the app. It's a craft beer service. They send beer to your house. After you spend $25, use our code FTB10 for $10 off your next purchase. Here's the thing. Every year they do something with their training staff. Every year they do something. New head of medical, new head of strength and training, strength and conditioning. New this, new that. But it's the same shit every year. I don't know, man. It's frustrating. It's okay. All right, guys, we're at the 1 hour mark. That's it for me. Follow me at Infante54. You see my name there, Infante at 54 at the end on Twitter if you're not already. Brian was before. He B Cameron, Cameron, PSN on Twitter. Follow us for our podcast, Flippin' Birds Pod, Flippin' without the G, Birds Pod, POD on Twitter. Again, Tuesday, we are going to have Bengals writer John Sheeran on with us to help us preview the game. Preview two teams desperate for a win, two teams whose fan bases are crying and hating life. So join us on Tuesday night. Well, we're gonna release it on Wednesday. So join us on Wednesday when we release it. Hope you guys sleep okay tonight. Don't black out and all that. And again, the season's a marathon and not a sprint, but it looks like they're trying to run a marathon on a torn ACL right now. So that's not gonna happen. But we'll see. We'll see you soon, and go Birds.